World mythology is full of fantastic kingdoms and realms that exist alongside our own. Many of them are said to have entrances in the real world, meaning that it's possible to at least stand on a doorstep of some pretty amazing places. But some places are so surreal, you won't believe they actually exist. Here are 10 real-life magical places on planet Earth which looks like heaven. Son Doong Cave, Vietnam. Son Doong Cave is the world's largest, but only a limited number of visitors are able to see the incredible attraction in Vietnam each year. At more than 200 meters high, 150 meters wide and 5 kilometers long, the Hang Son Doong Cave in Vietnam is so big it has its own river, jungle and climate. A visitor spent a week photographing the natural wonder of the cave system. With ceilings towering over 200 meters high in places, the cave is a humbling and belittling experience, he said, who has lived in Thailand since 1977 and runs the Cave Lodge guest house. The real lost world? A mystic, flat-top mountain on the Venezuela-Brazil border that perplexed 19th-century explorers and inspired a Lost World novel is attracting ever more modern-day adventurers. Once impenetrable to all but the indigenous people, several thousand hikers a year now make the 3-day trek across savanna, through rivers, under a waterfall and along a narrow path scaling the cliffs of Mount Roraima. Standing at more than 9,200 feet high, Roraima is sacred ground for the Blins and a spiritual symbol for many other Venezuelans. Between 3,000 and 4,000 people are climbing each year, up from hundreds a few years ago. Not surprisingly, it is also an ornithologist's paradise. Milisani Cave. Milisani Cave can be found on the east coast of the island of Kefalonia in Greece. It is located about 2 kilometers from the town of Sami and 10 kilometers from the town of Argostoli. The caves are surrounded by forests, while a mountain slope is located to the west. Below you will find a gallery of this magical place along with additional information on the cave's history as well as the best time to visit. The cave is 100 meters long and the lake takes about 1/3 of its length. It was first discovered in 1951 and was opened for the public in 1963. The lake water is brackish, a mixture of seawater and sweet water. The cave is about 500 meters from the sea and the water level is a meter higher than sea level. Tunnel of Love. In the centuries-old city of Cleveland, Ukraine, a railroad track cuts through the trees shaping a tunnel, appropriately named the Tunnel of Love by locals. It's straight out of a fairy tale. Over the years, the tunnel has attracted tourists from all over the world to take a stroll. The tunnel starts after a few hundred meters from the factory. Many have popped the question here, and Instagram is flooded with photos to prove it. This lover's lane traces its origins back to the Cold War. On a recent visit to Ukraine, photographer Amos Chappell with Radio Free Europe spoke with the locals and learned of the tunnel's history as a guise for a nearby military base. The Dark Hedges. Somewhere in Northern Ireland, near the village of Armoy, along Bregagh Road lies a stunning sight, a row of beech trees that curve in crazy cool ways. The trees, planted by the Stuart family in the 18th century to dress up the road towards their manor, sit intertwined, creating a truly bizarre sight in any season. Now called the Dark Hedges by locals and tourists alike, Northern Ireland started using images from the road in their tourism campaigns in the late 1990s. The site has been used for scenes from Game of Thrones. Rumor has it that the Grey Lady now haunts the road, especially the last beech tree at dusk. Wat Natomo Glowworm Caves. World-renowned and a magnet for both local and overseas visitors, the Wat Natomo Glowworm Caves occupy a high placing in the New Zealand vacation wish list. The glowworm, Arachnocampus luminosa, is unique to New Zealand. Thousands of these tiny creatures radiate their unmistakable luminescent light as our expert guides provide informative commentary on the cave's historical and geological significance. Wat Natomo Glowworm Caves are must-see for any traveler. Enjoy the world-famous boat ride under thousands of magical glowworms and become a part of over 120 years of cultural and natural history. Bigger Waterfall, Romania. Bigger Waterfall in Romania looks like something straight out of a fairy tale. A moss-covered cliff and an underground water spring combine to create this beautiful and unique piece of nature. Located in the Anina Mountains in western part of Romania, this waterfall has found itself on countless lists of stunning places around the world and one of the most beautiful places in Romania. What makes this waterfall unique and spectacular is the way the bigger water spring spreads over the moss of the cliff, plunging in many tiny shreds in the Minis River. Surfing to surface some 200 meters before the waterfall, the spring flows rapidly and noisy to its final destination. Lake Baikal. Baikal is an impressive lake. It's the deepest and the cleanest lake on Earth. When we were planning a trip, we didn't even suspect it is so wonderful, majestic and fairy. Lake Baikal is about 600 kilometers in length. The thickness of it reaches 5-2 meters. This ice can tolerate the vehicle of about 15 tons, but sometimes we saw cars that had been falling down. Ice has different patterns in different parts of the lake. Especially it is very interesting to find a fish or a branch in the ice. The ice in Baikal is the most transparent in the world. And this is true. You can see everything till the bottom: fish, green stones, plants and bluish gulf. The water in the lake is so clear that you can see various objects on the depth of 40 meters. Antelope Canyon. Antelope Canyon is a slot canyon in the American Southwest. It is on Navajo land east of Page, Arizona. Antelope is the most visited slot canyon in the Southwest, partly because it is easily accessible and by far the most publicized, and also since it is extremely beautiful, with just the right combination of depth, width, length, rock color and ambient light. Many other slot canyons are deeper, narrower or longer, and some have rock that is even more colorful and sculptured, but here conditions are ideal. Upper Antelope Canyon is called the place where water runs through rocks by the Navajo. Lower Antelope Canyon, called Spiral Rock Arches by the Navajo, are a few miles away. Antelope Canyon is visited exclusively through guided tours, in part because rains during monsoon season can't quickly flood the canyon. Zhangjiajie National Forest Park. The Zhangjiajie National Forest Park is a unique national forest park located in Zhangjiajie City in northern Hunan Province in the People's Republic of China. It is one of several national parks within the Wulingyuan Scenic Area. In 1982 it was recognized as China's first national forest park with an area of 11,900 acres. Zhangjiajie National Forest Park is part of a much larger 397.5 kilometers squared. The park is one of several within the Wulingyuan Scenic and Historic Interest Area, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Zhangjiajie National Forest Park that appeared in the 2009 James Cameron movie, Avatar. Over 61 million tourists visited Zhangjiajie in 2016, an increase of 21% over the year before. Who is leading a tourism marketing team in the United States? Basus was referring to the world's longest and highest glass bridge in Zhangjiajie.
Subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos. Top 10 Videos World.